Guys, this is just going to be a real quick video. This is just kind of a little tip for in case you are going and doing like a little small spot repair or something like that. So you'll notice I got my primer here and see how it's wrapped up. What you got to be careful about, like you'll notice I folded these back. I taped them down like that, you know, and then folded them back. Primer's still wet, so I got to be careful. But seeing what that does, it kind of creates this a little kind of balloon, you know. It don't have that hard line like these, which these are both on an edge, so I ain't really worried about those. But like both of these, you know, I've got no edge. So two things: one, this will allow the overspray just to kind of roll over there instead of hitting a hard tape line. And two, you notice that you want to be able to see. You never want to bring your primer all the way up there, and the reason why is because it'll leave a line. It don't seem like that big of a deal at the time, but when you go to block that line out, it is literally almost impossible. You know, it will like by the time you get done color sand, buff, and everything, you pull it outside and you'll see that freaking line in the clear. And it's just a difference. I mean, what I've always considered the problem to be is just the difference in the sanding material, because you're sanding this, which a line's just hard to get out. You never want lines in your filler or anything anyway. But you know, you've got this that, you know, it sands a certain way, and then the paint itself sands a certain way. So when you go to try and block that line out, one's going to be cutting faster than the other or slower than the other. One's going to be softer or harder or whatever. And literally, I mean, I've had them where they just literally, it would kind of look like this by the time I was feathering out. I'm like, yeah, there's no way there's line in it. And sure enough, that line would still show up. So that's just kind of a little tip for you guys. Just one, go ahead and back mask. This is called back masking, or that's what we've always called it. This is called back masking, and you just really just lay your paper out and then you flip your paper out of the way. So one, do that, but and even more important is to make sure that you're not actually going all the way up to your paper. You always want to be able to see a good, you know, fairly wide area where you can still see paint, so that we know that all these that whole edge is going to feather out real easy. I wasn't worried about it here because both of these are on an apex or a crest. Right there and right there, so there's already a line there. So even if I would have got overspray there, it was just not that big of a deal. Plus this is actually covered by interior. That there will actually be behind the hood. But anyway, I just want to make a quick video. I'm sorry about the shaking on the camera and stuff, but I can't set up a camera and all that. You know, I can't do all that every time I want to tell you a little something, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, hopefully this helps. Keep this in mind the next time you're wrapping something up to prime. If you got a little filler spot that you're working on or whatever, make sure you've got enough space so that you don't hit it with your primer. And then also, this is just a little added insurance, you know, that you're not going to get that hard line, because I promise you, it can be extremely hard to get out. I mean, you'll see them about 80% of the time. Every now and then you'll luck out and you're able to pull it off, but for the most part, just avoid it. And if you do, well, I'm not going to suggest it, but what I do, like literally if I somehow accidentally did get a line, I'll just go right over, grab some lacquer thinner, and I'll just kind of wipe it off to where it doesn't have that hard edge. And that's worked for me in the past, but that's like in case of a emergency type deal, to where you're just trying to save something that didn't go quite right. But anyway, guys, if you got any questions about this, feel free to post them below. And if you got any suggestions or something specific you're wanting to know or wanting me to do a video on, or I can possibly answer your questions or whatever, just feel free to post that below also, guys. But all right, man, have a good day, and get back to work now.